Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow gunboys on YouTube. If you're watching this video, it is Thursday, but I am recording this Wednesday night during Banner Night, as it's already been announced through a developer newsletter that our next Banner mobile suit is already announced. And here it is. It is the Gelgoog Vertex Kyanos, and we'll get into that shortly after. But let's get into the news first because we are now in version 0158. And with that update, as per verbatim, we'll get into the news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, we are now in version 0.0158. With the latest update for tonight's banner, we're getting some additions to spectator mode. For example, spectator mode now has a free camera feature, which allows you to view around the battlefield without being locked into a particular player or an angle. So that can tie into some really cool things, which it also includes some machinima stuff that, you know, I know a lot of folks in the community kind of want to do, which includes me. I'm kind of really wanting to do that, but unfortunately, even with this update, you do require some volunteers. So anybody's interested in something like that, definitely let me know in the comments below. And they'll even go as far as stating what, you know, how the camera works with free camera mode. Before then, you had I think the ability to switch amongst the people in lobby in the round, which honestly, any type of update, something simple like this, I think is a great thing. They also go out of their way to, you know, for those of you that might be new to this whole spectator deal, they tell you how to go about your business and create a custom room to utilize that feature. In addition to that, we're also getting some unit adjustments, which we'll go over in a second. On top of that, you know, as stated, our banner knight is the Vertex Kyanos. I kept on calling it Kuranos or some weird name. I apologize, I'm bad with names. Better with remembering visual things. One thing to note that I kind of skipped over really quick on top of that is the dueling match rule or mode that they had in place due to anniversary. It's now been regulated to weekend only matches and custom matches at right now. So only in, I believe, only in quick. I don't think there'll be a rated mode, which this is a very small sentence there, so I think it's always been quick. It's going to stay quick, so there's that. We'll get into the details of the actual banner pool, but it does have a step-up process as well, which I believe is a half-off deal. So if you've been saving up tickets and, well, not ticket token, and you want to use it, well, there you go. We also have a limited supply drop for the Gallus. Not just any Gallus. I'm going to call it the Dempsey Gallus, because really that's what it is. The level 2 version, which is pretty nuts already. So, and then September 22, their login bonus, they'll be updated shortly, which we'll go over later on. As well as with the banner, we're getting 4 new emotes. Well, decals, excuse me, not emotes, but decals. In addition, we're getting the level 3 of the Super Gundam, the Hyakushiki level 3, and the Zero Shiki level 3 in the DP store. And also some fixes too. So some of the fixes that they're listing is Unicorn and Banshee fixes applied when certain operations were performed in the Haro menu and the luminous area was not displayed correctly. I'm guessing it's probably the lighting from NTD mode, but they don't really go too far into it. By Banshee, a fix is applied when the camera eye was glowing from the beginning when boarding an aircraft in a transformed state, which has been corrected. I think it's specifically the unit itself, but somebody can clarify and comment there. Skill. By skill NTD ability boost, a fix is applied to invisibility was sometimes removed when an attack was made at the same time as the activation skill. So I'm guessing it's going to be like Exam and Hades, where you get a temporary iframes invulnerability, so you can negate some of those attacks as you're transitioning. Maybe. But lag is still a factor, so better than nothing. Battle Simulator, bottom of the gravity well, a fix is applied to the sound effect of the weapon reflector bit of the Shambalo for not acting properly. Not that I noticed, but that's cool. A map fix for the supply depot, applied for pilots which sometimes enter a container when performing certain operations. Like containers located in the area. I'm guessing they clip through. Well, that's kind of cool and definitely, nothing like flipping through an object. Customization, a fix is applied to the selection cursor, would disappear when certain operations were performed when selecting a custom part on the specified screen. Really? That's kind of nuts. Paints, a fix is applied when certain specific operations are performed. To apply a pattern, a color, or the pattern was displayed transparently. And then the other fix is by the English language setting, a fix is applied to Senanju skill. High speed maneuvering shooting displayed during battle was out of place. Yeah, I saw that. It's a little off center and everything is like literally on the edge. All right, on to the other half. So tonight's 600 cost general is a 3-star Gelgoog Vertex Kyanos, which is also usable on ground and space. Designed and developed by Anaheim Electronics for Chimera Core's Uma Lightning, or Uma Lightning, as some people call it. Although the development base of it is the Gelgoog Vertex 1 Testarossa, Kyanos inherits a unique head shape and formal tanks on the legs, which are specifications of the high mobility Gelgoog Type B that Uma is operating. It's also changed its main armament to a beam bayonet, which is a highly responsive weapon. High mobility unit mounted on back allows for a higher degree of freedom in combat. Beam and live ammunition and armaments mounted on each part of the fuselage provide a high ability to cope. Not sure what they were going for that, but take it for as you will, because we're reading verbatim. Rapid turn allows the unit to turn rapidly while moving at high speed, very much like the it's the Unit 1 brother and the Hazel 2. If you don't own it, that's basically what it does. Can be deployed on ground and space, like we said earlier. I'll be playing that in the intro if you haven't seen that already. And on top of that, as a 10 pull supply drop bonus, we're getting the Johnny Raiden Federation Survey Service uniform that's in the manga, which you'll see right here as well. On top of that, like I said, the Sutrum Gallus is part of a limited time deal. The level 2 is up. It is a 2-star, so good luck. Going into the unit adjustments for this month, for version 158, we're getting boost in terms of shooting and melee, increases for the Rizel. They're also getting a cooldown, reload, and other changes being done, which is making the suit a lot more viable. I haven't touched it in a while since Banner Night for it, which is kind of disappointing on my part, but apparently, I guess, according to the devs, it does look like that it's been underperforming. So, with all these other additions, including some of the sub-weapons that it's able to use, it is certainly a lot more viable in terms of damage output. Hopefully that's enough to kind of carry it over, including both when it's in transform mode as well. The Stutzer for the Rickdom is actually getting a boost as well. You're getting a HP boost, pretty much boost across the board, which I'm not 100% sure the data supports what I've seen, but apparently they have enough information to where it feels like it's underperforming where it needs to be, giving a kind of equal chance of winning or losing, and it's really down to, the person in pocket. So if you love it, that's great, because you're getting a lot of stuff added. So we'll see if it's evens out in the rated scene, quick match scene. The SCR, which I have been in agreement with a lot of folks that I've been talking to, is getting a boost as well. So it's getting an HP boost, shoulder buffer increase, and it's also its melee getting boosted up. So it's kind of interesting. And based on this, it looks like it's been underperforming as well. And when you have other suits that kind of almost do the same thing, like the Jesta and whatnot, it does feel kind of underwhelming since the kit is pretty limited. But I think with these changes, well, there's definitely a chance that it might be a lot more viable now than it was before. So I do probably anticipate seeing this in the future as the week goes on. The early production Gelgoog, or technically the same model as Char's Gelgoog, which is not Char's Gelgoog, is getting a boost as well. Thrusters, I'm assuming maneuver might be turn speed. That's getting increased, as well as the its custom part slots. Melee boost is getting increased. Also getting enhanced tackle, jumping up from level 1 to level 5, plus a thruster output increased skill. Interesting. So that might be fun at lower cost. We'll see how it goes, but I think it one of the things that they're looking at is the sortie rate, which is not even a full percent. I think it's just because you have so many different suits in that category that kind of fill in that role that, you know, that's not being used. So we'll see. I might pull one of these days, and well, I have it, but I actually run it just for laughs and giggles here. But here's an interesting that I thought was I don't know if it even needed a buff, but the regular ZZ-3 is getting an increase. Its regular boost speed is getting increased, turn speed is being buffed, as well as leg buffers, shoulder buffers, and right shoulder buffers as well. So, and apparently its maneuverability on the ground is being adjusted when I guess you're switching directions, so it's not as floaty. It's a lot more responsive. So that might be something fun to try, because it is a 550 suit natively. So I know some people that really love the Zaku 3 as a base suit, like, and got used to the movement. We'll see how they treat that. The half cannon, Zaku half cannon, getting boosted. Shooting is boosted to 20. Precision shelling and frontline support system. Yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like in some of these buffs, especially with something like this, what they added, it's a 300 single suit. I almost want to see people that have video that actually sent this to BB Studios to see if it's actually worthwhile for them with this buff. I don't know. I don't really see half cannons that much. The most that I do see half cannon wise, it's gonna be the Coke Berry version. So I don't know. We'll see. But you know, it's a support, so we'll see how that plays out over time. Oh, it's weird how it just skips. All right, Unit 5 BST is getting increased to its melee. Reaction booster program has been given, I think, and then its weapon itself is getting risen up in terms of base damage. Apparently it's been underperformed, so kind of neat. One thing that kind of surprised me also was the Gavaldi Alpha high mobility type is getting a significant buff. Apparently the beam resist being from 4 to 10. That'll be interesting. And also on top of that, main weapon getting increased base damage to 2600. I think it was already pretty good already. Just more of I guess they're trying to make the suit a little more accessible in terms of skill, maybe. Hard to say, don't take my word for it. Kind of looking at the numbers here, but apparently I guess it hasn't been doing too well according to the data that he has. So I don't know, we'll see. Based on my little time with it, I thought the alpha was pretty fun. The raid version anyways, so I don't know, we'll see. Oh, the heavy Gundam is also getting an increase as well, so its frame launcher is going from 300 to 350 meters. power for the level 3 is increased to 130, and then the beam cannons being heat rates being lowered, plus the power output being increased, and focus shots, or the power, I guess the portion that is increased when you're focusing shots. Stiffness time after using the weapon is lowered, so I'm guessing the frames from using it and then being able to do some other stuff, I guess, actions in between all that being lowered. Frame launcher stagger ambient accumulation value is increased. I think the other one's Gatling. This is the missile launcher. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to read acronyms as I'm going here. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I can tell some people might actually be like, but we'll see, because I think at base the D2 is pretty much its big competition. Granted, the doesn't have the same range as the heavy does, but they kind of almost fill the same role as far as like mid-range fighting. Gelgoog cannon's getting an increase. Reload time's getting adjusted for the shoulder beam cannon. Holy. And then the beam bullet velocity is increased, so that'll be interesting. Probably gonna see that more often, or at least that's what they intend. And then they're increasing the attack power for the 3-2 missile launcher. That might be interesting. And that does it for unit upgrades. Alright, now going into the nitty-gritty of things, the Gelgoog Vertex Kyanos, we'll just call it the Kyanos for short. 600 cost, general, space, ground, like we said earlier in the video. Pretty balanced resistances across ballistic, beam, and melee, so it makes it pretty easy to kind of bolster that. Also balanced in terms of range and melee strength. You got a movement speed, cruising speed of 130, high speed movement of 225, thruster gauge already at 80, and turn speed of 75, and that makes it pretty balanced, pretty good across the board numbers wise. It also gets, as far as enhancements, you get the range at level 1 plus 1, you get the frame enhancement, field enhancement, complex expansion slot for your skills, or parts rather, at 2480 for tuning. You're also getting additional frame reinforcement, as well as a +4 to range, all the way at the end of tuning. Going down the line, base weapons, it comes with the Gelgoog beam rifle at 2100, 6 shots, effective at 400 meters. Reload doesn't seem too bad, nor is the cooldown time, pretty standard. As far as its melee goes, it comes with the beam bayonet, very similar to the EOS. Base damage is at 2800, and I think based on from my time with the practice dummy, the downswing is a 2-hitter, very much like the base high mobility Puma Lightning version. As with the regular Vertex, the Raid, you also get a missile pod at 450 with 8 shots at the same effective distance as the VR. Armed grenade launcher at 2400 power, 250 meters. Does ready up kind of slow, very similar to a Sturmfaust, I believe. Not sure if it's the same speed, so don't quote me on that. It also has hip-mounted Vulcan pods, which does not allow you to be used during boosting, but you can, I believe, walk around with them. So something else to kind of chuck at the enemy. But I found that you also have the beam gun with the beam bayonet, which does fairly decent damage. I wouldn't say it's anything super special, but considering that you're waiting for your stuns to cool down, something nice to have at 300 meters. So it's not as far as your BR goes, but it's pretty nice. It probably throw some people off as you're swapping between your melee and that. As with the Gelgoog BR, it also would be complete with its grenade launcher, which hits at 1300 at 200 meters. Its little buckler type shield is also rated at 4000 HP. Going into the skills, it looks like it's got your regular run-of-the-mill general stuff. What I mean by that is you have your typical leg shock absorbers. It has 2 rolls rather, and you have flight control at level 2. It also comes with a anti-blast stabilizer, balancer, high spec AM back at level 2, plus the quick turn skill as its other brother has. The raid, which was also announced during the dev newsletter. Force injector at level 2 has a melee control at level 1 and damage control at level 2 with leg buffers at level 2 as well. Now, haven't tried this in combat yet. I've only just acquired it and just kind of been playing around with it in practice and kind of figure out what kind of setup I want to run with it based on its stats on paper. And it seems pretty decent, although I do feel like compared to its raid version, which comes with maneuver armor, it does feel kind of a little hurtful on what it should do. But, you know, we'll see. It's definitely capable of doing stuff, even without maneuver armor, but I do feel like it could have at least came with maneuver armor 1 at the very minimum, as there are some generals in this cost range, which include the Jesta, for example, the most recent banner, that came with maneuver armor 1. However, the Jesta doesn't have a roll at all versus what this suit does. So, very curious to see what people do with this suit. Very curious to see how it fares in the next couple weeks as we wind down and pretty much end the 4-year anniversary celebration, because it's over, guys. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, please do not hesitate to hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely helps out the channel. I know a lot of my returning viewers are only 80% unsubscribed, sorry. So anything helps out, keeps us going, keeps the lights on. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.